Please welcome Dieter Zetsche, Chairman of the Board of Management of Daimler AG and Head of Mercedes-Benz Cars.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, guests. A warm welcome to all of you. Welcome to Mercedes-Benz here in Frankfurt Festhalle, the festival hall of the Frankfurt Fair. Experts say that on average, the human mind produces 60,000 individual thoughts per day. From experience, I can tell you that on some days it is more and on other days it's fewer. Good ideas form the basis for change. Our industry reinvents itself, as does Daimler as a company. So it fits in the picture that this year we are taking a slightly different approach to this motor show. As of next Friday, we will add an entirely new dimension to the IAA for the very first time, the Me Convention. We have invited many interesting founders, unconventional thinkers and visionaries. I, for one, look very much forward to my talk with Sheryl Sandberg on Friday. Of course, our core business, the transformation of the automotive industry, also provides food for thought and interesting discussions, maybe even more so than ever before. The IAA has always focused on one question: what will the future of mobility look like? The possible answers, however, are and will be discussed far beyond our industry. There has been a loss of trust in the German car industry's power of innovation and sustainability. And I do regret this very much. So let me stress at this point that at Daimler we have been doing everything in our power to actively shape the future of mobility for years. Our advantage is that right now we are more successful than ever in our core business and we can invest massively in our future. Let me give you a few examples to illustrate this. It's a fact that it's worthwhile to improve modern diesel engines rather than to ban them. We need diesel if we are to achieve our climate targets through less CO2 emissions caused by road traffic. That is why Daimler has invested 3 billion euros in the further development of our diesel engines. This means that we already have the diesel engine of the future in series production, which even the toughest diesel critics regard as clean. Our midterm goal is just as clear: zero emissions mobility, which is why we are also putting 10 billion euros into the expansion of our electric fleet over the next 10 years. By 2022, we will electrify our entire Mercedes portfolio, offering our customers at least one electrified drivetrain variant per model series. All in all, we are planning to have more than 50 electrified vehicle offerings. All these examples show that we are doing our share, and we already started years ago. Which is why it is right that the public discourse over the last few weeks has become a bit more rational. The fact is that, according to the German Environment Agency, NOx traffic pollution has fallen by around 70% since 1990. The reason for that is technical innovation. And anyone who believes that mobility will become more sustainable by banning a type of drive on a particular date is definitely missing the point, especially since a ban would be a disservice to climate politics. At the end of the day, every electric car is only as sustainable as the electricity it uses. That clearly does not mean that all is fine. We'll continue with business as usual, but it means that we have achieved a lot over the past few years, and we intend to achieve much more. Which is why I'm so pleased to be able to show you our next steps and to take a look at the big questions of the future. Active driving or being chauffeured, electric motors, combustion engines or fuel cell, owning or sharing, humans or robots. Daimler's strategy on all these topics is clear. We are convinced that there is no such thing as the one correct decision. We do not expect an either-or solution, and we won't be able to find a solution overnight either. This is why we will do the one thing without abandoning the other. For our customers, this means, most of all, that mobility will become even more diverse. Well, based on two vehicles, we will show you today how exactly we at Daimler imagine the future of customized mobility. These vehicles represent two mobility concepts that couldn't be more opposing. Let's get started with the car for the city in the future. This urban concept is based on our urban brand, Smart. And this Smart really is smart. Our show car has been completely redesigned solely for the purpose of comfortably transporting passengers from A to B in the city of the future. This concept relies on two principles that most people would say are mutually exclusive: sharing and personalization. In most cases, things I can share are not very personal, and very personal things I hardly ever want to share. In this context, it is different. What we are talking about here is a practical and creative concept for individual urban mobility. This Smart needs neither steering wheel nor pedals. It drives autonomously at level 5 and emission-free. It welcomes you personally with your profile picture and your configuration, the friendly car-to-go of the future. Along the way, you can pick up others and thus share music, photos and travel expenses. This is what we understand by a premium carpooling agency for sharing rides. What this could look like in detail, we'll see right now. Coming up is the Smart Vision EQ42.